Good evening, everyone. We are going to go ahead and get started with our meeting. First, we're going to have the City of Norwalk Housing Authority meeting for March 17th. Teresa, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, Commissioners Ayala,
Here.
Ramirez,
Here.
Valencia,
Here.
Hernandez,
Here.
Vice Chair Rios, and Chair Perez.
Here. We have two items on the consent calendar. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll move it.
We have a first and a second. Can we have the roll call?
Commissioners Ayala,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Valencia, Hernandez,
I abstain. Item 69263.
I'm sorry, 692.
63.
Thank you. Vice Chair Rios.
Aye.
And Chair Perez.
Aye. Do we have a Community Development Director's report tonight?
No report.
Thank you. And do we have any oral communications for the Housing Authority?
None for housing.
All right, thank you. We'll adjourn this meeting at 6:17. And in just 1 second, we're going to start with our successor agency. All right, we will call to order the City of Norwalk Successor Agency to the Norwalk Redevelopment Agency meeting of March 17, 2026. Teresa, can we have a roll call, please?
Agency members Ayala,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Here.
Valencia,
Aye. Here.
Yeah.
Vice
I messed
Chair.
you up, right?
Vice Chair Rios,
Here.
and Chair Perez.
Here, we have two items on the consent calendar. Can I get a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Agency members Ayala,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Rios,
Aye.
Chair Perez.
Aye. Moving on to reports. The first one is number 3, resolution number SA 2603. Jesus, can we have the staff report, please?
Yes. Chair Perez and members of the Successor Agency, tonight before you we have two items. Well, the first one is the proposed refinancing of existing 2005 bonds, and the purpose of this is really to release the debt service and be able to use that for economic development purposes here in the city. As you can see, we have lots of projects that are in the works, and this will just be favorable for the projects that we are in the middle of constructing. So with that, we'll have Ms. Yana Stewart present.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Chair Perez, members of the Successor Agency, today staff will be presenting two items that are related to possible refinancing of our existing 2005 tax allocation refunding bonds. In 2005, as a way of the background, the former Redevelopment Agency issued tax allocation refunding bonds in Series A that were non-taxable and Series B taxable for a total amount of $64 million. These bonds are the term of these bonds is the year 2035. And as of today, the Successor Agency still has over $32 million outstanding. Section 34117 of the Health and Safety Code authorizes successor agencies to refinance outstanding debt obligations to produce debt service savings while not increasing the overall indebtedness of the successor agency. Staff, together with Cosmont Financial Services, has identified such an opportunity for the successor agency to refund the 2005 bonds and realize savings that as of today are estimated at about $49,000 to the successor agency and respective taxing entities that are in merged project area. And at the same time, also, we have an opportunity to release the existing debt service reserves, about $5.3 million that are currently held by the trustee. These bond proceeds will cover the cost of bond refunding, about $973,000. And the remainder can be released and transferred to the city, about $403 million, for eligible capital improvement projects such as housing, infrastructure, and economic development in merged redevelopment project areas or areas adjacent that would benefit these project areas. The city, on behalf of the successor agency, has identified the redevelopment projects listed on the slide as eligible for funding with unspent bond proceeds, about $4.3 million, in addition to already transferred bond proceeds of $17.9 million of other unspent bond proceeds that were previously transferred per authorization from Department of Finance back in 2014. The list of these projects may be updated with additional information when additional information becomes available. You may see there's a variety of projects, housing projects, as well as redevelopment projects and infrastructure improvements within the redevelopment area. The next slide demonstrates the restructuring of existing debt if we continue, if we are approved and authorized to go forward with the refinancing project. As you know, the market situation changes daily, so we definitely would have to realize savings in order to be able and approved by other entities to go forward with the refinancing. But as of the latest information that has been provided by our municipal advisor, Cosmont Financial Services, we would realize about $49,907 in savings. The board approves if the board, meaning you, approves the issuance of 2006 bonds, the Los Angeles County Force Supervisorial District Consolidated Oversight Board or County Oversight Board will consider approving the refunding and use of unspent bond proceeds at its regular meeting of April 21st, 2026. Additionally, there are other steps that are needed that we need to go through. Staff will return to the board for approval of the preliminary, meaning to the Board of Successor Agency, to approve preliminary official statement and continuing disclosure certificate related to the 2006 bonds. If the Oversight Board approves the issuance of the 2006 bonds, then Oversight Board action will be subject to the approval of Department of Finance, which is the state board, and that can take up to 65 days. Tonight, we are requesting for your approval resolution number SA 26-03, and that would authorize the 2026 refunding bonds, related documents, and authorize certain actions. That will also set forth the terms of the bonds. It will hire the financing team and authorize officers of successor agency to take certain actions necessary to complete the transaction. In addition, a variety of forms and documents are also part of the resolution that would require your approval. There are pro forma documents, such as indenture of trust, escrow agreement, and bond purchase agreement. This slide summarizes the bond refunding timeline. If all goes well, the bond sale is anticipated to happen by the end of June or beginning July. And this concludes this part of the staff report. Successor agency would like to make a recommendation to the board to adopt resolution number SA 26-03, authorizing the issuance and sale of tax allocation refunding bonds in the principal amount of not to exceed $35 million, and approving a form of indenture of trust, a form of escrow agreement, and a form of bond purchase agreement, and authorizing certain actions in connection therewithin. I am here with Cosmos Financial Services representative, Mr. Dan Maciello, and Mr. Juan Galvan, who represents our bond counsel from Azel Galvan LLP. And of course, staff, Mr. Gomez, our city attorney's office are also here to answer any questions council may have. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Yana. Any questions from council? Seeing none, I'll move the item. We have a first and a second. Can we get a roll call, please?
Madam Mayor, before we take roll call, just for the record, we want to make sure that we acknowledge Councilmember Ayala because he is participating. So before we take that vote, so pursuant to Government Code Section 54953 and 54954.2, subsection B4, given that a quorum of the Successor Agency Board is present in person at roll call, on behalf of Board Member Ayala, he will be appearing remotely for just cause due to a physical disability as a result of a medical condition. Thank you.
Thank you. Norma, our microphones are very special now, so next time, move your microphone over, or I'll be able to hear you.
Very well.
Awesome, thank you. We have the report for Councilmember Ayala. First and a second, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Agency members Ayala,
Aye.
Ramirez,
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Rios, and Chair Perez.
Aye, thank you very much. Moving on to item number 4, that's resolution number SA 2602. Jesus, can we have the staff report?
Yes, Chair Perez and members of the successor agency. So to do all what Yana presented, we need a specialized team. We need an underwriter, we need a financial advisor. And so the next report is to do just that, to hire the financing team. So with that, Ms. Yana Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Chair Perez, members of Successor Agency Oversight Board. This item is really it takes a lot of professional team to accomplish all that I described in the previous staff report. So just move to the key members that are helping us along the way. That would be our municipal advisor, Cosmos Financial Services, bond counsel, Azel Galvan LLP. Everybody has their role. Municipal advisor would advise us in all the aspect of the bond issuance and acts as fiduciary capacity for the city. Bond counsel makes sure that all the legal requirements and aspects of bond issuance are met and everything is as it needs to be. Underwriter will help us to purchase the securities and market them is a resale to investors. Disclosure counsel is another legal advisor that makes things happen, and that would help us with matters relating to preparation of preliminary and final official statements that are necessary for all the investors. And also fiscal consultant that will provide run all the numbers related to tax increment and any revenue streams that are related to this transaction. There are also other team players that will be hired along the way as a trustee, a rating agency, and other other services. All the costs related to bond issuance will be covered from the bond proceeds, and there will be no transactions coming out of the city or former successor agency. And with all that, I would like to board to consider authorizing a resolution of successor agency 26-02, engaging of a municipal advisor, fiscal consultant, bond counsel, and Disclosure Council for the proposed issuance of 2006 tax allocation refunding bonds, and the selection of an underwriter and taking certain related actions. That concludes my report. Cosmont Financial Services representative and Ansel Galvan LLP are here also for you if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Yana. Any questions at this time? All right, seeing none, I'll move the item.
Second.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Agency members Ayala,
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Rios, and Chair Perez.
Aye. Thank you. Jesus, do we have an executive director's report tonight?
No, just thank you for the approvals. It'll give us more flexibility for our projects, so thank you for that.
Thank you. Do we have any oral communications for Successor Agency?
No, none for Successor Agency.
All right, thank you. That portion of our meeting is adjourned at 6:31. We will now move to our regular Norwalk City Council meeting. 6. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. I love seeing all the green in the audience. We will officially call to order our meeting for our Norwalk City Council meeting. Tonight, this evening, we are honored to welcome Pastor Michael Gutierrez, who has served the Norwalk community for over 7 years. He became the senior pastor of Redeemer Convent Church in 2023, after previously serving as a youth pastor since 2017. In addition to leading the church, he serves as an executive director for the Barnaby Community Center and actively collaborates with local organizations and schools to support and uplift the Norwalk community. We are also pleased to welcome young Marine Corporal Cassidy Sanchez, a 12th grader student who has proudly served the Norwalk community. As an exemplar of her dedication, young Marine Corporal Sanchez has recently been selected as, are you ready for this? The Unit Young Marine of the Year for 2026. She continues to display her leadership skills and commitment to giving back to the community as a manager for her high school volleyball team. Pastor Gutierrez and young Marine Corporal Sanchez, you are already ready to lead us. If everyone could please stand, and afterwards we'll invite you both up to join council in the photo.
Thank you. Would you pray with me? Dear God, we thank you. We thank you for this great city of Norwalk. We thank you for all the different pieces that make it what it is, God. We thank you for our first responders. We thank you for our local businesses. We thank you for our local churches. And we thank you for our schools. And we thank you for our city council, Lord. God, I believe that you have put each of them there in their seats to be used by you, God. So I pray as they meet tonight to discuss and process and learn and work towards a better Norwalk, God, I pray that you would bless them with wisdom and discernment, with encouragement and strength and peace, Lord, and that you would lead them to make the best decisions for all those who live, work, and play here, God. We thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. I will have you know that when we first walked into chambers at 5 o'clock, Councilmember Ramirez thought that it was too cold in here. I thought it was very refreshing, so I hope you're enjoying the cool air. Sorry, Rick. All right. Again, thank you all for joining us tonight. Teresa, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Ayala,
Here.
Ramirez,
Here.
Valencia,
Here.
Vice Mayor Rios,
Here.
and Mayor Perez.
Here. Norma, can we have the closed session report, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Perez. And just as a reminder, again, pursuant to Government Code Sections 54953 and 54954.2 subsection B4, given that a quorum of the City Council is present in person at roll call, on behalf of Councilmember Ayala, he will be appearing remotely for just cause due to a physical disability as a result of a medical condition. Relating to the closed session report, City Council convened into closed session at 5:07 p.m. Present were all members of the City Council. Councilmember Ayala participated remotely. As to items 1, 2, and 3, members of the council were provided with briefings and updates. No reportable final actions were taken on any matter. Closed session discussions concluded at 6:08 p.m., and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Norma, and thank you for being here with us tonight. All right, moving on to council comments. We'll go ahead and start this evening with Councilmember Ayala. Tony?
No comments tonight, Mayor.
Thank you. Next to Councilmember Ramirez. Rick?
No comments.
Thank you. Councilmember Ana Valencia?
Well, I'll take up their time. Yeah. How's that? No, I won't. Lots of events. No, I'm kidding. It's Women's Month. It's March, so I know that we've all been to several events, and we're celebrating Las Mujeres, the women. So congratulations, all women, on a month that's well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you, yeah. Not everybody's clapping.
Because, as you know, women, we don't just celebrate a day, an hour, a week. We celebrate all month long, right? It's great. All right. So some of the things that I did, went to the girls' fast pitch Saturday, March 7th. I know that I got there a little bit after the throwing of the ball and what have you, the opening pitch, but still I was able to talk to some of the girls, hang out, and the little queen bees, I guess one with their banner. That was, oh my God, they were so cute. They had the little antennas and stuff of the bees, and how could they not win, right? The little ones. But that was really great, and we wish them the best of luck. Then also Sunday, March 8th was International Women's Day, and I was able to, I was very honored and proud to be a part of the phenomenal women at the Norwalk Lions Club, which held the second annual Women's Empowerment Tea. And that was at the Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex. I want to just acknowledge, she's school board member Norma Amezcua. It was kind of her and a few other people, Commissioners Laura Valenzuela and Marcel Greenidge, also commissioner of Norwalk, who just kind of had these ideas and had this great idea to put a tea together, empowerment, speakers to inspire our young ladies and all of us. I was inspired being there. We had speakers. Congratulations to the committee for a great, tea that they put together. And I want to say also some of the speakers were our very own Mercedes Quintanilla, the executive director of Door of Hope. Great event. She spoke from the heart and very inspiring. A lot of these people have gone through a great deal, and I think it shows how much more they can do. And to those young ladies that were there from Norwalk High School, from the Lady Program, and from all over Norwalk, and other places too that joined us, they were all leaving very inspired. We also had Stephanie Valenzuela, and she used to be just stay-at-home mom, taking care of her kids, and now she's I think the teacher of the year over in the Rancho Cucamonga area. Just a wonderful lady. There was yes. Oh, Laura, you're here. I didn't see you. I was looking for you. So Commissioner Valenzuela, your daughter has accomplished so much. Personally, sometimes, we go through some dark spots in our life, right? And sometimes we just can't get over the little humps. But she did. And she didn't just go over it. She jumped and she leaped and she's just done amazing. So congratulations. I've had the honor of being able to call her my friend since probably before COVID, right? And just a wonderful lady. And she's got 3 boys who keep her very busy, but she's also just a burst of energy all the time. So, and again, congratulations to her. And we also had, I couldn't remember her name. She was a doctor who came and talked to us about her life and what she's gone through and how she's now got her own family practice. Amazing, amazing. And then our very own Assemblywoman, Blanca Pacheco, spoke about her life and the struggles and where the struggles and the tribulations as to what she had to go through to be our current Assemblywoman. And she spoke very well as well. So Laura, it was fabulously decorated, fabulous. The food was amazing. Thank you so much, because I know that you are one of the heart and soul of that tea. So thank you, Laura. Yes. And then Saturday, March 14th was the Norwalk Little League opening day at Gertie's Park. And then right after, we had the Pony League at Hollyfield Park. And our mayor was great at throwing the ball and yelling out, "Play ball." That was a lot of fun. And then our colleague, Vice Mayor, Margarita Rios was also at the Pony League at Hollyfield Park. Right, she jumped the fence and then kind of went over. She lives right by there. But it was so great to see all of the young ones and teens and the parents just go out there and get ready for an exciting league, an exciting time. And we wish them all well, because there's going to be some winners and there's going to be some people that are not going to win, but it's all in good fun and a lot of exercise and just a lot of camaraderie. So I applaud them, and I hope to be at some of the games as well. Then later on that afternoon, I went, along with Commissioner Greenidge, we went to support Blanca Pacheco on an event that she had and met lots of influential and helpful and resourceful people. So we networked a little, and that was, and we had some delicious ceviche. Never had a ceviche that good. And actually, it was the restaurant of the council member of Downey. It's one of the El Pescador, and it was fabulous. Then what I'm going to say is I look forward to this Friday. We're going to have Artastic, and they're going to feature all sorts of art in many different ways, and that's one of the events that I really look forward to. I mean, there's so many that we have, wonderful. But Artastic is just great, and there's going to be performances, and I'm sure there's going to be talk about it. So that's this Friday at the Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex from 6 to 9, Alan? Yes? Okay, great. And then I'm also going to cross the street, cross Firestone, to go over to the Norwalk Elks Lodge. So we have some, we have our young cadets, what have you. 2 of them lost their dad. He suddenly had a heart attack. So the Elks is having a fundraiser to, support the family through this hard time. So if you do get a chance to stop by this Friday at the Norwalk Elks, you're more than welcome to join them. And just to kind of, help out, because there's always expenses when those kinds of things happen. But we want to be supportive of our young cadets and just let them know that we are there for them. Okay, and that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. And now to Vice Mayor Rios. Margarita?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to welcome everyone to our meeting today. Just a couple of things that I wanted to share. So I do want to congratulate all the ladies, all the women. March is Women's History Month. So to all of you who work day in and day out, you have many very different roles that you play. Sometimes you play them all. So congratulations to all of you. And I hope that you have an enjoyable not just month, but rest of the year. I did participate in Congresswoman Sanchez's Women's History Month Summit, and so that was really nice to just be able to collaborate and network with other like-minded women who are working really hard to improve their communities and raise really good families. So I can definitely appreciate that. As far as the opening ceremony, that was really, really nice. Good planning by our Park and Rec. I do want to share, so I walk the park at Hollyfield specifically at least once a day. And I want to share that to our public services. I saw them there very regularly, working so hard to get the fields ready. So I just want to give them a special shout out, them working behind the scenes to get the fields, the grass, playgrounds, the park just looking spectacular. So please give them a thank you on our part. Also wanted to share that we, Jesus, myself, and Ozzy, who else did, and Gabby, we took a tour to our West Coast Arborist facility in the city of Anaheim. And if you haven't already heard, or hopefully you are aware, that we are working on updating our urban forest management tree plan. And so we want to make sure that as we move forward with this plan, we're working very closely with West Coast Arborists to determine where are we going to plant our trees, what type of trees are we going to plant, how are we going to mitigate some of the infrastructure issues, because unfortunately sometimes trees are not planted in the right location. But as I like to say, that's not the tree's fault, that's poor planning. So we want to do all of that and increase our tree canopy. We have about 9,000 locations where we have missing trees that we've either removed and not replaced, or have removed and are not there for other reasons. So the environment is something that I really I push for, and so we want to make sure that as we update our urban forest management tree plan, that we learn from the past and do things a little bit differently this time around. So that was a really nice tour. West Coast Arborist hosted us. Our young men's group, young men's support group for ages 15 and 25. For those of you that don't know, the city does have a young men's support group, again, between the ages of 15 and 25. They do meet every second and fourth Tuesday. And I want to thank Miguel Ochoa for his positive feedback. I recommended a speaker, one of our local business entrepreneurs, motivational speaker. He's overall a really, really nice guy. And so he took time out of his very busy schedule to go and speak and present during one of the group meetings. And Miguel shared. Miguel, you're here, right? Miguel, raise your hand. There he is. He leads our young men's group. Is that right, Miguel? Yes, okay, perfect. And thank you for the feedback that the group shared as far as Mark being a very inspirational and motivational speaker and contributing to the group. So if you're interested or know of a young man between the ages of 15 and 25, let them know that there's a place in Norwalk where they can continue their growth professionally and personally. And we would love to help with that. Also, let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, yes, one more thing. So LA County Care Community Village is the new care and housing center that's going to be housed at Metropolitan State Hospital location. They had a groundbreaking. That is something that the Norwalk City of Norwalk, the team has been working very diligently with LA County to do something there that would benefit the community. So when they did have their groundbreaking, they definitely affirmed that Norwalk, the City of Norwalk, our residents and those members, individuals that are going through housing insecurity or other, maybe they need health care, mental health support, whatever the case may be, that we will have first dibs, and we are going to hold them to it. I know Karen from our Norwalk Business Chamber was there, and she heard it, so I got a witness, yes. We are going to hold them to it. One of the really neat pieces about this, I mean, there's several neat pieces besides obviously having another resource location for the city of Norwalk to be able to refer to, but part of this new housing that they're building there at the LA Care Village is for transitional age youth. Those are youth that come out of the foster care system. Once they turn 18, they no longer have that support, and unfortunately often end up homeless. So part of what's going to take place there is supportive housing for the TAY, transitional age youth. And so that I'm really excited about that because we don't need our young people to suffer through, homelessness. So they'll be able to have housing, they'll have support for job, training, education, etc. So it's a very, very positive thing. So we're, again, as I said, working very closely with LA County, make sure that Norwalk continues to have a seat at the table. Okay, and with that, that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Margarita. Just to add on a few additional events that I attended, we recently had the Norwalk Education Alliance mock interviews where we partner with the Norwalk Chamber, our school district, Celico Web, and we give the opportunity for juniors, seniors in high school, both in Norwalk, John Glenn, La Mirada, and Santa Fe High School, a chance to prepare a resume and do their very first interview. Some of them have never, ever been in an interview at all. And so this is an opportunity for us to give them that chance, get rid of the initial shock and the butterflies from sitting in front of somebody and asking questions, but really to then take feedback, improve, and go on to the next one. So I'm always excited that I'm able to participate. Thank you, Karen, and the entire team from Norwalk Education Alliance for consistently partnering with the Recreation Department and all the high schools to put this event on each year. You heard about opening days. Again, I wanted to echo the sentiments that Margarita shared. The fields look amazing. Albert, thank you very much. Alan, we talked about it earlier today. I was really impressed on both Gertie's and Hollyfield Park, how the fields looked amazing. It was really great to see and to be there with all of the families. And the last event that I wanted to bring up, we did hear different events that we've attended with Women's History Month. The Norwalk Chamber has brought back for the second year in a row the Women's Leadership Breakfast. It was held on this past Friday, and it has grown. It's bigger than what it was last year. Last year, we were able to sponsor about 20 students, ages 7th and 8th grade, and then Southeast Academy, young female students to come and listen to these powerful leaders. And this year we had over 40 students there, and they got to hear the theme of be bold, be brave, and be you. Event. We had a vice president from Southern California Edison. We had a representative from LA County Chargers there to speak to the young ladies. We also had Patty Yoon from Yoon Family Restaurants, who owns 3 McDonald's here in the city of Norwalk. It really was a great day, and Karen, I'm always blown away with this event, and I just want to thank you again for always bringing it to our community, our business members, and now to our students, because I really think it truly makes an impact. So thank you for that. I do have another event, but I'm going to hold that comment until after Jesus makes some comments of his own. But before we get there, we do have a few special projects, special presentations this evening. And the first is one that I'm proud to celebrate each and every year, and that is to proclaim the 2025 Norwalk Transit System Distinguished Operators of the Year. Tonight, the City of Norwalk is pleased to recognize several individuals and employees for their outstanding contributions to our community with the Norwalk Transit Team. First, we're going to proclaim National Norwalk Transit System Appreciation Day. recognizing the dedicated transit professionals who provide safe, reliable, and essential transportation services to our residents each and every day. And second, we're going to congratulate two of our very own. First, Jose Tinoco and Joseph Ho, who have been selected as the 2025 Norwalk Transit System Distinguished Operators of the Year, and in recognition of their exceptional customer service and commitment to safety and to serving the Norwalk community. On behalf of the Norwalk City Council, we thank you all for your service and congratulate you on this well-deserved recognition. At this time, we want to invite the entire Norwalk Transit team that is here with us tonight, including Mr. Jim Parker, to the front so with council we can celebrate your accomplishments. Congratulations. All right, moving on to our next special presentation. Tonight, the City of Norwalk is pleased to recognize the CD Cobras soccer team for their outstanding achievement. This team has won the winter season championship at the Cypress Meet. Congratulations. The CD Cobras is a local youth soccer organization dedicated to developing young athletes through teamwork and a passion for the game. Through their commitment, the team continues to represent Norwalk and the community with pride. Their recent championship win reflects the hard work of the players, as well as the dedication and leadership of their coaches, staff, and their families, who support them both on and off the field. On behalf of the Norwalk City Council, we congratulate the CD Cobras soccer team on a remarkable accomplishment and wish them continued success for the future. And at this time, if we can invite the team and the coaches to the front so we can take a photo and celebrate your success.
I want to congratulate you all again for your championship. Thank you so much for working so hard towards that. And thank you to all the parents, the coaches that are here supporting your youth. You know, this is all about youth leadership, all about supporting our youth in the city of Norwalk. And so thank you for coming and presenting here with all of us today. And I know that we have one of our commissioner, Ray, right? You're one of your, yes, let's. Now, I hear Ray's son was the one that made the winning, right? All right, 2. Thank you. And Ray, you've been in the city of Norwalk for how long now? Long time? All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on to our city manager comments, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Gomez. Jesus?
Yes, Mayor, members of City Council, and those who are visiting us and our residents. First of all, happy St. Patrick's Day, and hope you're celebrating all day safely. Next, I have 2 introductions of promotions that we've had in our city. And so tonight, I would like to start off with to introduce our new housing liaison, Miguel Ochoa. And if you could stand. Miguel Ochoa has promoted to his role as of March 2nd, 2026. He has been a valued member of the team for almost 4 years and has made meaningful contributions to the department. Miguel started as a part-time office assistant 1 for public safety, then moved to the social services department as a social services worker 1, moved up to a full-time social services worker 2, and has now been promoted as the new housing liaison. Miguel graduated from Cal State University Fullerton, alma mater, with a bachelor's degree in sociology. Miguel will be conducting street outreach to assist people who are experiencing homelessness and connecting them to services. Fun facts, Miguel in his free time trains in kickboxing and competes. He also enjoys going to the movies. And Miguel, congratulations. I would also like to introduce our new management analyst, Albertina Arzate, also known as Tina. Tina was promoted to this role as of February 4th, 2026. She has been a valued member of the team for 10 years. As of next week, Tina started off as a recreation leader 2, moved up to office assistant 1, moved up to office assistant 2, and has now been promoted as a new management analyst. Tina will continue to oversee the nutrition team and social services, complete city, county, and state reporting. Fun facts, Tina enjoys spending her summers camping at Yosemite National Park with her family. These promotions reflect not only their hard work and professionalism, but also their dedication to the community we serve. We are proud to recognize their accomplishments and look forward to their continued contributions in their new roles. Please join me in congratulating them on this well-deserved achievement. Thank you. Next, just want to announce that we have cooling stations as our temperatures rise. We have cooling stations, and please attend. They are air conditioned for you to spend some time there if you have no other place to have air conditioning. Next, some great news that we received today. Earlier today at the Kenneth Hahn Administration Building in Los Angeles, the city of Norwalk was awarded a $4 million grant for the Hermosillo Park Rehabilitation, Infiltration, and Stormwater Capture Project. The grant was in the category of natural lands, local beaches, water conservation and protection through the Regional Park and Open Space District, which is administered through the County of Los Angeles Parks and Recreation Department. A total of $78 million were awarded to numerous public agencies and nonprofits, including the City of Norwalk for $4 million. Alan, congratulations to you and your team for continually to look for funding for our parks. The parks are a priority for the City Council, and the continued success of getting funding will be able to provide much more beautiful parks here in the City of Norwalk. So with that, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Next, we have a video related to mock interviews that Karen helps lead in the school district. We'd like to show you some experiences that the students had. A great program here in the City of Norwalk. So with that, we'll go ahead and play the video.
On March 5th, 2026, the City of Norwalk, in partnership with the Norwalk Education Alliance, hosted the annual mock interviews event at the Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex. Local high school students had the opportunity to participate in real-world interview practice with community leaders and professionals, gaining valuable experience to help prepare for their future.
Today is the Norwalk Education Alliance mock interviews. It's an opportunity that we give to our juniors and seniors in our high schools here in the City of Norwalk to come and experience a full-fledged interview.
The mock interviews are so important because it gives our youth the opportunity to share about themselves, really think about what they're doing in their life, their education, and how they're planning for their future.
Throughout the event, students received guidance, feedback, and encouragement from business leaders and professionals in various fields, helping them build confidence and strengthen their professional skills.
Today's event's a great event. It is a positive for the city of Norwalk, a great opportunity for them to learn life skills and possibly when they're looking for a new job.
This event is very important because we get to practice together, doing some of the things that are a little more challenging, like interviewing for a job, having that hope, knowing that that job is going to come, but feeling like we're ready, we're practiced when we step into those interviews.
Students also wrote thank you cards for their interviewers, showing appreciation for the time and mentorship they received.
Check it out, guys. Jason, Mr. Rosewoods, your chamber board president. Today is mock interview day here at the Norwalk Sports Complex, and it's great to see the community come together, the high schools come in. I believe we have 4 to 5 high schools here, and it's good to see the kids, the students come in and want to make a difference on their interview.
Students should participate in this event because they don't know what they don't know. So if you've never interviewed for a job, it's really hard to prepare for that. And it also demystifies the process. It gives them feedback and hopefully prepares them for really doing well when it actually counts for a job.
Thank you to the Norwalk Education Alliance, our dedicated volunteers, and the Recreation and Park Services Department for making this event possible and continuing to invest in the future leaders of Norwalk.
It's a great program for our young youth at probably their first interview in their life, and it gets the jitters out of them, and hopefully they'll a road to success beginning with these interviews. The next is the biweekly review video, activities that have occurred here in the city. Please participate. Summer is starting, and we have lots and lots of programs for you, for your kids, family members, for everyone in our community. So we'll go ahead and play this biweekly video.
On March 2nd, the City of Norwalk's Social Services Department hosted a game time event to recognize the dedication and hard work of the department's social workers at the Senior Center. Thank you to our social workers for the compassion and commitment you bring to our community. In celebration of Read Across America Week, the Norwalk Public Safety and the Norwalk Sheriff's Department visited Edmondson Elementary on March 5th to read with students and celebrate the power of books and learning. The Norwalk Aquatic Pavilion kicked off its spring swim lessons on March 14th. Recreation swim instructors helped new swimmers build confidence in the water while learning floating techniques and developing their strokes.
Thank you very much. Lots of activities here in the city of Norwalk. Next, if I may, I would like to request to pull item number 14 from the agenda to a future date. No specific date yet. And then my last item would be the update on my ICE activities. So tonight I want to update the council and our community on the city's efforts to provide outreach, counseling, and legal services to Norwalk families impacted by ICE activities since our last council meeting on March 3rd, 2026. CHIRLA will continue to educate residents about their legal rights and available community resources this month. The next Know Your Rights outreach session will be held at the Senior Center tomorrow, March 18th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Our food pantry, we have served 115 individuals from the last meeting, city council meeting. The city also encouraged families impacted by ICE enforcement activities and homelessness to reach out to the Social Services Department for assistance. We have calls related to ICE. We have 1 walk-ins, 0 referrals, 0 hotline messages, 0 and red cards, 14. That concludes my city manager's reports. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jesus. Moving on to our consent calendar, we have 8 items. Can I get a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Ayala,
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Valencia.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios.
Aye.
Mayor Perez.
I abstain on the list of checks and commercial demands that I gave to Teresa already. All right, moving on to appointments. Do we have any appointments this evening? Great, seeing it.
Yeah, Jennifer, I do have one appointment.
Okay, Tony, go ahead.
I'd like to appoint Laura Valenzuela to the Historical Heritage Commission.
Wonderful, I'll second that. Do we have any other appointments, or is that the only one? Right, can we have a roll call?
Councilmembers Ayala,
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Valencia.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios.
Aye.
And Mayor Perez.
Aye.
And I think Laura's here.
Yep.
Would you mind coming up to the podium and doing your oath for us? There's a button right there to press for the speaker. Thank you. Please raise your right hand. I, and state your name,
Valenzuela,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will and faithfully
and that I will
Well and
and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Okay, we are moving into our public hearings. Item number 10, public hearing, proposed activities for fiscal year 2026-27, annual action plan for the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program. Jesus, I will open the public hearing, and Teresa, can we have the public notice report, please?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, notice of the public hearing was posted on February 26th at the city's 3 official sites and on our website. It was also published on February 27th in the city's adjudicated newspaper as well as La Opinion. We received one communication today from Melanie Farrar from an organization called Upwards in Support. That's my report.
Thank you. Jesus, can we have the staff report?
Yes, Ms. Bethany Cardenas will present.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Good evening, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council. We are here to present public hearing item number 10, which outlines the proposed activities for the fiscal year 26-27 annual action plan for the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Programs, both funded by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to allow the council and the public to review and provide input on these proposed activities before the formal public review period begins. CDBG and HOME are federal entitlement programs. Each year, the city is required to submit an annual action plan to HUD outlining how it will use these funds. The programs come with important federal requirements, including caps on administrative and social services spending, requirements for public-private partnership, and mandatory compliance with HUD's national objectives. All activities funded through CDBG and HOME must meet at least one of HUD's 3 national objectives: decent housing, a suitable living environment, or expanded economic opportunities. Funds can benefit individual households that meet income limits, such as by repairing a specific home, or provide area-wide benefits in census tracts where at least 51% of residents are low to moderate income. CDBG funds can support a range of community development activities, including capital improvements, economic development, and certain public services like counseling and job training. Home funds are more restricted and may only be used for housing-related activities. Federal regulations cap CDBG public services at 15% of the entitlement, which comes to approximately $141,000 this year, and cap program and administration at 20% for CDBG and 10% for home. The city notified 89 nonprofit agencies in November 2025 to announce the availability of CDBG public services funding. 12 applications were received by the December deadline. On January 8th, the Social Services Commission reviewed and discussed all applications and, together with the Social Services Director, made funding recommendations for Council's consideration. The full list of recommended agencies and funding amounts is included in the draft annual action plan attached to tonight's staff report. This slide shows how CDBG funds will be utilized based on funding estimates. The city anticipates approximately $1,065,871 in CDBG funds for fiscal year 26-27. These figures include $940,871 entitlement funds and $125,000 in carryover and program income from prior years. It's important to note that HUD has not yet confirmed final entitlement amounts. If there are cuts to the city's allocation, the figures will be adjusted accordingly, and the annual action plan will reflect the actual funding reality. The funding details a breakdown for various projects and activities supported by CDBG. Allocations include $175,000 for program administration, $13,000 for fair housing, $75,000 for the Emergency Services Program, $20,000 each for Community Legal Aid, Hoviness, Inc., and the Los Angeles Centers for Alcohol and Drug Abuse, $622,000 for capital improvement, $100,000 for economic development activities, and $20,000 for Upwards, Inc., a child care business microenterprise. Here are the funding recommendations from the Social Services Commissioners and Director. For the Emergency Services Program, we have $75,000 to target 25 households. Community Legal Aid, the recommendation is $20,000 for 50 households. Hoviness, $20,000 targeting 15 individuals. And the Los Angeles Centers for Alcohol and Drug Abuse, $20,000 for 200 individuals. The next few slides serve as a reminder of Council's questions from the February 3rd meeting regarding the services offered by the Emergency Services Program. This program, administered by the Social Services Department, provides crucial support to individuals and families in crisis to prevent homelessness and displacement. They offer rental utility assistance for up to 3 months, as well as lodging vouchers for temporary shelter lasting up to 3 days for those experiencing homelessness. To be eligible, applicants must be a resident of Norwalk for at least 6 consecutive months and have a total gross household income at or below 80% of the area median income. The council also inquired about which services were provided to the 19 Norwalk households. The pie chart illustrates the percentages of the 19 families that received assistance, some of whom received multiple types. 63% of the services were for utility assistance, 29% were for rental assistance, and 8% were for lodging and emergency housing. The Social Services Department conducts community outreach through school events, workshops, city events, resource fairs, and social media to promote. Council inquired about the specific services that legal aid provides. Community Legal Aid offers legal assistance for domestic violence, elder abuse, tenant-landlord disputes, debt collection and bankruptcy, consumer protection, tax laws, wills for seniors, and family law. These services are for Norwalk residents with incomes below 80% of the area median income. This slide illustrates the services that legal aid provides and outreach. Out of 87 individuals assisted, the pie chart illustrates the specific services provided. Again, some residents may have received more than one type of assistance. The breakdown of services is as follows: domestic violence or elder abuse at 31%, tenant-landlord issues at 26%, debt collection at 14%, and miscellaneous services, including small claims, assistance for disabled clients, and consumer issues at 29%. Residents can request help on their website by calling the hotline or scheduling an in-person consultation. Their outreach methods include municipal materials, local events, and social media. Hoviness, Inc. supports transition-age youth who are experiencing homelessness. They provide short-term motel vouchers for stays of up to 2 weeks, with longer-term housing placements arranged through the coordinated entry system. To be eligible for assistance, the youth must be residents of the City of Norwalk and are presumed to be primarily low to moderate income. Lakata offers behavioral health and substance use treatments tailored specifically for individuals experiencing homelessness. Their services include outpatient and residential care, outreach programs, after-school programs, job development, overdose prevention, and community education. They must be residents of the City of Norwalk and have a low to moderate income. This slide outlines the breakdown of home funds. The estimated grant entitlement is $242,049, and the carryover and program income total $1,023,732. The program administration cap is set at $24,204, and there is a $30,000 allocated for security deposit assistance and $200,000 designated for affordable housing rehabilitation. Over $1 million is also earmarked for affordable housing projects. In total, the home funding amounts to $1,265,781. The draft annual action plan activities reflect estimated funding amounts for entitlement, carryover, and program income. The city will adjust these amounts as necessary and prepare a final AAP that reflects the actual funding. The City Council has the authority to modify or cancel funding for activities, but cannot add new activities without a 30-day public review period. The final public hearing for the adoption of the AAP is scheduled for May 5th, 2026, followed by a May 15th deadline to submit the plan to HUD. A substantial amendment can be considered for future changes to approved activities. There is no fiscal impact to the city's general fund. CDBG and home programs are funded by HUD. Staff recommends that City Council and members of the public provide input on the proposed activities tonight before the formal 30-day public review period begins on March 30th. After that period, no new activities can be added without restarting the process. This concludes my report, and staff is happy to answer any questions that council may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Bethany. All right, I do have one speaker card for this item. Ms. Shelby Knox, Community Legal Aid. Shelby, are you still here? Step forward to the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, City Council members. I just wanted to come tonight to thank you on behalf of the board and staff and clients of Community Legal Aid for your support of our work and for your consideration of our proposal for next year. I don't have much to add to your lovely presentation that you gave, although I do want to clarify that we do not handle tax law, but besides that, everything that was on the list is something that we provide free civil legal services for. And I also would like to thank you for your continued support from your Social Services Center, which partners with us to offer a clinic over there twice on Wednesdays each month. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Teresa, I know we had one email that was put into public record that was received. Any other cards for this item?
No.
Great, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. I'll bring it back to council. Any questions, comments? No? Bethany, I know you're just looking for comments and input, and this is going to be a continued work in progress. I want to thank you for really answering the questions and some of the specifics that we were looking for from the previous report. Again, I think this year when we originally looked at it, is great to see the numbers of how many families were helped, and then answering the questions that we did have. So I appreciate you getting that additional information. Any other comments? Right, then we will see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bethany. All right, moving on to item number 11, and that is a public hearing, ordinance number 26-1768, zoning text amendment number 2026-01, adding chapters to Title 16 subdivisions and Title 17 zoning of the Norwalk Municipal Code to implement the provisions of Senate Bills 9 and 450 and amending various sections of Title 17 zoning as it relates to zoning development substandards, standards, and uses. We will officially open the public hearing. Teresa, can we have the report, please?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council. Notice of this item was posted on the city's 3 official sites and the website on February 20th. It was also published on the same date in the city's adjudicated newspaper, and we have received no communications.
Thank you. Jesus, can we have the report, please?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of City Council. This is one item that the state has legislated to the cities, and that's across the state of California. And this is related to our housing zoning laws that have made them, in my opinion, probably the easiest way to explain it, much more lax to develop on single-family properties. And so we are having to adopt those laws into our code. So this presentation and this ordinance will do that. So with that, we have Ms. Nancy Lee that will present.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. So, the ordinance being presented before you, you're probably already familiar with it. In order to codify the SB 9 and SB 450 as mandated by the state, This act will consist of adding chapters to Title 16 or subdivisions and Title 17 under zoning of the Norwalk Municipal Code. Just as a brief background, SB 9 was adopted by the state and allows single-family residential zones to be subdivided into 2 parcels, which also is known as an urban lot split, for the development of up to 2 dwellings on each newly created parcel. Upon completion of a lot split, up to 4 dwellings total, also called urban dwellings, can be built on a lot that was previously zoned for 1 lot. Local agencies are required to approve SB 9 projects administratively. For context, the zoning map for the city of Norwalk is shown here. The yellow color represents the R1 single-family residential zones in the city. As you can see, it's the most predominant zone in predominant land use in the city. According to the housing element, the city has 21,826 single-family residential units, with 63% of those units being occupied. On January 6, 2025, SB 450 became effective, which further reduced local control as it relates to SB 9 units. Generally, cities may not impose standards on urban dwellings that do not apply uniformly to developments in the underlying zone. For example, imposing a maximum lot size for the urban dwellings. As such, staff has prepared the code amendments to be as conservative as possible while also complying with SB 9 and SB 50. For the urban lot splits, Chapter 16.02, Article 8 is recommended to be added, which allows for by right subdivisions under SB 9. General procedures, development and design standards and expirations are among state standards being codified. The chapter also provides standards for urban lot splits in relation to zoning, number of parcels, minimum lot sizes, parcel configuration, and specifies that separate utilities and traffic services are required. Further, owner occupancy requirements and limitations to urban lot splits are specified in this new section. This is just a simple example of an urban lot split without dwellings for clarity of an interior lot for a under the proposed urban lot split standards. The top illustration shows an existing parcel at 5,000 square feet originally in size. If it's proposed to be split under the new urban lot split standards, underneath, or the second illustration below, shows new parcel number 1, located at the front, or was the front of the parcel at 3,000 square feet in size, with an access easement for the rear parcel. New parcel number 2 is located at the rear and is required to be a minimum of 2,000 square feet in size, or 40% of the lot size. In this example, it's a corner lot that's 10,000 square feet in size. New parcel number 1 would be created at 4,000 square feet in size, or a minimum of 40% of the original lot size, with the street frontage of 60 feet being met along the longer street side. A new parcel number 2 is 6,000 square feet in size, with the frontage of 60 feet being provided at the street frontage, the shorter side. Staff is also recommending a new section which would provide for development standards for urban dwellings and specifies definitions of key terms, application processes, design standards, occupancy and limitations and exemptions. Notably, some limitations include no short-term rentals of urban dwellings, which would be rentals for less than 30 days. Also, accessory dwelling units and junior accessory dwelling units would also not be allowed to be constructed in conjunction with urban dwellings or urban lots. This chart just shows the new section that's in the zoning code for urban dwellings. we're noting minimum and maximum floor area ratio, building height, front and street side setbacks to follow the underlying zoning, as it does not prohibit, as long as they don't prohibit a maximum of 2 new 800 square foot urban dwellings. The setbacks for the rear and interior side are 4 feet. Open space is required at 200 square feet per unit. Parking will be required in the form of a one-car garage unless the site meets certain criteria to be exempt from parking on site. Staff also is recommending design standards as they pertain to primary single-family dwellings, one urban dwelling on the site, and also for 2 new urban dwellings being developed. The goal of these standards is to ensure that there's high-quality materials being used and that the exterior appearances are compatible with each other. So this site just illustrates the typical single-family residential building footprint in Norwalk. The top is a single-family residence with an attached garage, and the bottom illustrates a single-family residence with a detached garage in the rear portion of the. With the recommended urban dwelling standards, properties in the R1 zone are allowed 2 dwelling units, which can be 1 primary unit with an urban dwelling, and also, with an urban dwelling in the rear without a lot split, so up to 2 units in this scenario. With an urban lot split, the footprint of what can be built is shown on these slides. Properties in the R1 zone would be allowed to split into 2 lots with 2 urban dwellings, up to 2 urban dwellings being constructed in a new lot. Also, in addition to the proposed amendments to the code, staff is also including the following text amendments in order to comply with housing element obligations. They include updating the emergency shelter definition, allowing by right approval of multifamily projects with at least 20% affordability, adding group homes with 7 or more residents as a permitted use with the CUP in the R2, R3, R4, and RH zones, and adding group homes with 6 or fewer residents as permitted in the R2, as a use permitted by right in the R2, R3, R4, and RH zones. Eliminating the sliding scale for maximum allowable density based on lot size in R2 and R3 zones, and then also reducing the minimum lot size requirements for the R4 zone. Staff is also, just for some code cleanup, revising the illustration for lot coverage, and then also just clarifying the minimum density of 30 dwelling units per acre for mixed-use development. On February 25, 2026, the Planning Commission reviewed the proposed ordinance. During the meeting, the Planning Commission did hear from one resident who was in support of the zoning text amendment for the construction of SB 9 units. Following the public hearing, the Planning Commission unanimously recommended that City Council approve the proposed ordinance as presented by staff. So with that, the staff recommends that City Council consider and find that ordinance number 1768 exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act and introduced by title only ordinance number 26-1768 and scheduled for adoption. That concludes my presentation. I can answer any questions of council.
Thank you, Nancy. Teresa, do we have anybody wishing to speak on this item?
No, not that I'm aware.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to council for comments or questions. I have lots of comments on this one. I think everybody has heard me talk about SB 9 before. And I really hope our residents understand that what this is, and Jesus said that the state created and gave us legislation. Well, they didn't give us legislation, they gave us a state mandate. And I think there's a really big difference. And what the state is saying is that you can take your home, your single family home, and you can subdivide it into two, and you can put 2 new houses on each of those subdivisions to create 4 brand new housing units on your single family home, and not allow the city to have requirements in regards to parking, setbacks, anything of that nature. So when you see this happening, I really hope our residents understand and realize that it is not the city, but it is coming from a state mandate. So with my comments on what you have done as making it as clear as possible and to protect the city as much as possible by putting these new text amendments in there, I truly appreciate it, because this really can go sideways quickly. Any other comments, questions? We need a vote on this one, correct, Teresa? All right, I'll make a motion.
Second.
We have a first and 2 seconds. We'll go Margarita, because I heard her first. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Ayala,
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios, Mayor Perez.
Aye. Thank you, Nancy. All right, moving on to our next item, number 12, resolution number 26-15, terms and conditions of the employment for the City of Norwalk and the Norwalk City Employees Association, general and hourly units, and resolution number 26-16, adoption of a 9-step salary schedule for the Norwalk City Employees Association. We'll now open the public hearing. Teresa, can we have the public notice report?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, notice of this item was posted on the city's 3 official websites and our website on March 6th. It was also published on the same date in the city's adjudicated newspaper, and we've received no communications.
Thank you, Teresa. Jesus, can we have the staff report?
Yes, Mayor, members of the City Council, Mr. Ozzy Ramos will present.
Thank you, Jesus. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and honorable members of the City Council. I'd like to report that the city has completed all the required negotiation impasse procedures with the City of Norwalk's Employee Association and is now authorized to implement the 1-year last, best, and final offer issued on August 6th of 2025. But before I begin, I want to take a brief moment to acknowledge our employees for the incredible work that they do every day that aligns to our city's mission. I also want to acknowledge the leadership team on both sides, the union. They too play an important role in the labor process. And I want to acknowledge their efforts in over a year's process. And I also want to acknowledge our city staff, who have also contributed to this important process today. But I want to be able to spend the next couple minutes to walk you through 2 important resolutions that are before you for your consideration. Resolution 2615 and 2616 authorizes the city to implement the new employment term and conditions, including a 9-step salary schedule, increasing employees to market levels effective the starting pay period of March 29. Our employees will see on their paycheck, April 17th, the increase of those adjustments. But I think what's important is to communicate to all of you, if this action does not prevent the ongoing negotiation on behalf of the union, instead it establishes a new salary structure as a foundation for ongoing and future bargaining sessions. Just to give a little context to my presentation, I'd just like to go back how we all got here today. As many of you know, the agreement, our MOU agreement between the city and the union expired on June 30th, 2025. And in January 15th, we started the negotiations. And I've got to be honest with all of you. These negotiations, while important, have been challenging at times. And we haven't always agreed on everything with the union. But in the 19 meetings that we held, we agreed tentatively on 18 agreements during those negotiation sessions. On August 6th, the union and its memberships declined the city's best and final offer. And while I respect their position, that action led us to an impasse in September of 2025 due to some of the unresolved issues. Now, when two parties disagree on issues, two parties who are committed and align with the city's mission, we rely on what we call an impasse procedure. And those mediations started in September 19th and concluded on the 22nd. And later, as a final step of those impasse procedures, we relied on what we called the impasse fact-finding procedures. And in complying with the law and the transparency that the community demands from all of us, we made that report public on February 11th. I want to spend the next couple minutes to talk about the legality about this process. The MMBA and the implementation of these terms are governed by Government Code Section 3500 through 3511, which outlines clearly the negotiation and impact fact-finding processes and implementation procedures. And after mediation and fact-finding, as a public agency, we have to adhere to Government Section 3505.7, in which we did. But I also want to let you know that the unilateral implementation of this adoption of these two resolutions does not end the rights of unions, and they certainly do not end the continued negotiations on subsequent MOUs. I want to talk about what is the fact-finding process. I have a photograph depicting the process in a big picture, if I will. The number one process of it is the submitting of evidence. The panel consists of a chairperson who's a neutral arbitrator. The union gets to get one representative, and so does the city. That fact-finding panel reviews the evidence submitted to them. Second part is they carefully review the evidence before them for compensation, fiscal, and compatibility data. They also probably do another important part of the process is to assess the legality of the fact-finding requirements. The panel then makes a recommendation that is advisory to the council. And despite those efforts, and which I've said to all of you, a fact-finding report was made public on February 11th. But despite those efforts and ongoing negotiations with the union, we were not able to come to an agreement. compensation study on the 9-step schedule structure. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that. Before I get into that, I want to remind all of you that in November of 2024, the city hired a neutral consulting firm to conduct a comprehensive market analysis of our pay. Both the city and the union agreed to compare our salaries with the salaries of 6 other cities in the surrounding area. Those cities were the city of Carson, the city of Downey, the city of Pico Rivera, the city of Torrance, and the city of Whittier. Members of the city council, our goal by the city was always to bring our employees to market level rates and to address pay compression and differences between job levels. The 9-step salary schedule is different than what we have today. We currently have a 5-step salary schedule. We have about 177 full-time employees that are at the last step. This salary structure is intended to bring employees to market levels. With the pay increase effective on March 29th, our employees on their April 17 check will see an increase in pay. But I also want to remind all of you that this adjustment in the pay scale is not the same as COLA. The cost of living increase is a separate item that still is yet to be negotiated. So, the city has completed the required impasse process procedures, but we have not been able to reach a full agreement. The city council can now lawfully implement the last, best, and final offer issued on August 6th. There's a couple actions for you to consider if you decide to adopt this resolution today. By doing so, you implement the 9-step salary schedule. You approve 18 tentative agreements. You get to bring our employees to market. And more importantly, you will continue to keep negotiations so that we can resolve the unresolved issues with our union. I've got to tell you, just like our mission, there's about 35 words in there. I think if you've visited some of our offices, you get the opportunity to see them. There's about 35 words in there. I can tell you the honesty, the efficiency, and the fiscal leadership is important words in that mission statement. But there's one word that, in my opinion, is the most important. And that's committed. We are committed in bargaining with our union in good faith as we continue in these negotiations. What's it going to cost us to bring our employees to market? And I want to spend a couple minutes on that. Many of you have seen the uncertainty in the markets. I don't have to say it's been on social media, it's been on news reports. The things we're facing in Norwalk are not exclusive to Norwalk. They're happening throughout the region. But I just want to give you the costs of implementation. To implement the terms and conditions of employment, I can bring your attention to the red arrow. We're now about a quarter way through the year. Bringing our employees to market is going to cost us about $448,979 the first year. That means tonight, if you adopt these resolutions, effective March 29th, we bring our people to market. The following year, there's a significantly pay adjustment. It's going to cost us the increase substantial to $2,572,000 is largely in part to what I mentioned earlier. We've got 177 employees who are at full time. Bringing them to market this year, we've got to pay their next step increase. And so it goes on the following subsequent years. The assumptions of the numbers I provide up there are conservative numbers that I'd like all of you to consider. But there's a couple things that it does not include. It does not include COLA increase, and it does not increase or not include any costs for medical that are still yet to be negotiated. These resolutions are a big deal for our city. I think we have the best employees and staff. Tonight, the staff recommends that the City Council adopt Resolution 2615, resolution of the City Council of the City of Norwalk implementing the terms and conditions of employment for the City of Norwalk and the Norwalk City Employees Association general and hourly units, and Resolution 2616, resolution of the City Council of the City of Norwalk implementing and adopting the 9-step salary schedules for the general unit hourly and at-will employees, including the tentative agreements. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ozzie. To speak for the public hearing on this item?
No, Mayor.
Thank you. I'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to council for any questions, comments, anybody?
None, I'll move it.
I'll second. We have a first and a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmembers Ayala,
Aye.
Ramirez.
Aye.
Valencia,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Rios, Mayor Perez.
Aye. Thank you. All right, moving on to report number 13, and that's 2025 Norwalk General Plan and Housing Element Annual Progress Report. Jesus, can we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Mayor, members of City Council, Ms. Nancy Lee will present.
Good evening again, Mayor and members of the City Council. For the 2025 General Plan and Housing Element Annual Report, as it's required by Government Code Section 65400, that every jurisdiction must prepare an annual progress report on the jurisdiction status and progress in implementing a housing element to the California Department of Housing and Community Development, or HCD. This report was presented to the Planning Commission on February 25th and is now being presented to City Council for review and consideration. It is due to HCD by April 1st, and also to the Governor's Office of Land Use and Climate Innovation. The Norwalk General Plan consists of 10 elements. Those 10 elements are the land use element, circulation, housing, conservation, open space, noise, safety, community design, educational and cultural resources, and utility infrastructure. For the circulation element in 2025, the city continued annual construction work to repair and replace damaged curbs, gutters, sidewalks throughout the city. The city also continued design of intersection improvements at major intersections such as Imperial Highway, Bloomfield Avenue, and at Carmenita Road and Excelsior Drive. And also in 2025, the Norwalk Transit System completed installation of tap fare validators on all fixed route buses to support the region's transition to contactless fare payment. Continued efforts to achieve progress in fleet modernization and sustainability, mobility, and technology, also with capital improvement projects, were also made in 2025. For the housing element, the city issued building permits for the creation of 123 residential units. Of the 123 units, 2 were allocated for affordable housing. In 2025, the Housing Authority assisted an average of 613 families by paying their rent through the Housing Choice vouchers, 15 individuals with mainstream vouchers, and 36 individuals with emergency housing vouchers. In addition, through the home program, funds were allocated for an affordable housing development of 55 units in the Norwalk Entertainment District, also known as the Walk, to benefit those at or below 80% of the area median income. The illustration up on the top right shows a home purchase with under the Cal Home Grant in 2025. And the illustration at the bottom is a ribbon cutting ceremony that occurred in 2025 for a mobile home that was purchased through Cal Home Grant. The city continues multiple public programs to align with the city's commitment of going green and promoting public awareness on the importance of recycling and offering programs for its residents. These programs include used oil block grants, energy efficiency conservation, e-waste and shredding events, battery recycling programs, sharps disposal programs, and mandatory commercial recycling. The illustration up above shows a citywide cleanup event that occurred in April of 2025. And the illustration below is a quarterly newsletter that's issued in relation to sustainability, to going green. The conservation element. Under the open space element, notable accomplishments in 2025 include Hermosillo Park groundbreaking, field lighting renovations for Zimmerman Park and Gertis Park, and athletic netting for Zimmerman Park. The city also welded signs at all parks except Glacier Park and Hermosillo Park in 2025. Annual landscape maintenance is also conducted at various city parks. Pictured on the top right is the Hermosillo Park Community Center open house meeting that occurred in November of 2025. And the illustration below is groundbreaking for the park that occurred in December 2025. Other elements in the general plan includes the safety element, which public safety provided programs educating the public, served as the interface with other law enforcement agencies, and organized emergency preparedness plans and training. Utility infrastructure element ensures that adequate utility levels are provided on both the sewer system and the water system, and routine maintenance are performed at for these two services. The educational and cultural resources element helps maintain and enhance the quality of education. In 2025 alone, over 50 workshops were hosted in collaboration with LA County agencies, local community colleges, and community-based organizations. As previously mentioned, the Planning Commission did consider the report on February 25th and did, by minute motion, recommend the City Council to receive and file the 2025 report. As such, staff recommends that the City Council receive and file the 2025 General Plan and Housing Annual Progress Report and direct staff to transmit the report to the Governor's Office of Land Use and Climate Innovation and the Department of Housing and Community Development by April 1st, 2026. That concludes I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Nancy. Once again, I know these are all reports and things that we need to do in order to stay compliant to some degrees. Council, any question on the housing element? All right, feel free to submit and send it over by April 1st. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so we did pull item number 14. Jack, I know you had a speaker card for that, but because the item is pulled, I'm gonna hold that until it comes back. And with that, we are going to oral communications this evening. I do have several cards. We do have a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. Thank you for bearing with us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get started. The first one is Ms. Delia Delgadillo. And following is Keaton Grace. I think you need to turn the mic on.
It's on, I think.
Hold on 1 second.
Alphabetical order.
We're just clarifying some strategic workarounds here. Okay, go right ahead. Thank you.
Could you repeat the name? I just want to make sure I didn't take anybody.
Delia?
Delia Dio?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So we just want to start off by how all this started November 19th when we went to the park and there was only 2 soccer fields, right? We asked where everything's at. There's no budget. We contacted the state of California. They told us there's 8.5 million. That was one lie. Another lie is the community wanted this. We've established that the community did not want this and we weren't aware of this. Okay, that was the second lie. Third lie is, okay, we're gonna keep some of the trees, all the trees around the wall. That didn't happen. Another lie is, okay, we're gonna work with the community to see if we can keep some of the field, the grass, bring back the organic grass, not the synthetic field. That is also not happening. According to Jesus, Measure W required synthetic fields because they were paying for it, reached out to Measure W. That didn't happen. Going back to the fact that community members did not know about this. There were a few back in 2019 that were vaguely familiar with this. However, they were shut down. Anthony Tavares here was one of the people who tried to voice their opinion, well, not opinion, let the community know what was going on. And Margarita Rios decided to post that he was harassing her and stalking her. Therefore, he began to get threats. His family, his children were threatened. You know, Anthony is a member of the community now. Because of him and his outreach that he does to the community, our community has changed a lot. You know, he comes out here, he's a business owner. He does a lot of outreach for the at-risk community. And why Margarita wasn't held accountable for her actions, I don't know. Why is she still there? I'm surprised you're answering because there's, yeah, it is, and it's true. And what his family went through was horrible. This is what all our research has brought forth, right? It's like the community knew, the community didn't know, and those who did were shut down by things like this. And that's just not acceptable. And there was no accountability for it, and there still isn't any accountability for it.
All right, our next speaker is Keaton Grace. Following Keaton will be Patty Delgadillo.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and everyone who stayed to the end. Several months now, perhaps even longer, City Council has seemingly been stringing along the Hermosillo Park community. The council would like us to believe that in 2019, the people within that very community designed a soccer league's dream. Yet, when the current design was presented to the community surrounding the park, it was met with anger and disbelief. These public meetings became so overwhelming that the council members decided to meet with a controlled group that would serve as a go-between so that we could bring things to the community before these public meetings would take place again. That was proved to be nothing more than the city pretending to be listening to the community while running out a clock until no more changes could be made to the designs. A clock that the small steering committee was not made aware of until it slipped out in a recent discussion. The city would like the community to believe that they are working to compromise, but is it really a compromise to put back what they took from us in the first place? You ripped out the trees, the basketball courts, the handball courts, the playground, the amphitheater, the picnic tables, basically everything. Now we're meant to be so grateful and giddy that you're returning the basketball court, the handball courts, and the trees. Why should you be patting yourselves on the back for putting back what you took in the first? To say nothing that the splash pad, most picnic tables, and natural grass are actually not being. You failed to truly listen to the community, failed to put the community over the city's desire to have an additional source of income in the form of 2 rentable soccer fields and a banquet hall that will surely be more use for the leagues than to the Hermosillo community. You're taking a lovely little community park, one that was actually a huge part of why my family chose to move into a house just around the corner, and trying to shove an artificial turf monstrosity down. You can't call it a park if there's only a little strip of grass here. Not a park, it's a soccer complex. We don't want that. We've made that abundantly clear, but you've refused to listen. We as a community even agreed to bend to have 1 artificial turf field as long as the second section would be left as natural grass, multi-purpose field. You made it seem as if you were considering it just to appease us, when really it's one excuse after another as to why it, quote, can't be done, end quote. But the fact is the city had no intention of giving the community back the park, and instead plans to give the soccer leagues the soccer complex they want. We do understand the city wanting to have another source of revenue, but this was a small neighborhood park and it should have been left as such. As taxpaying registered voters within this community, none of us will forget this lack of respect, the lies, the misdirection, the bait and switch, or the greed and apathy that was shown. Thank you for your time.
Patty, you're next, and Caitlin C. will follow.
So this definitely goes back to the soccer, why the city is catering to these outside soccer leagues. During one of our meetings, we asked that our school be opened for our community, our children, since there's nowhere to go for the next 2.5 years. We were told no. And it's interesting that Sanchez is currently used by the soccer leagues. They have a key to Sanchez Elementary. They let themselves in. It's like I keep saying, you guys keep taking and taking from these neighborhood kids, okay? They have their goalposts, they have their generators there, they have their stadium lights there, but yet our kids are not allowed to go in there. Even during school time, half the field, they can't run because the soccer equipment is left there. I know that this is not a question for you, it's a question for your husband, since he's in charge of Sanchez, which is not hard to connect the dots here. He's in charge of District 3. Yes, okay? It's not very hard to connect the dots to the things that are going on here. We have the schools catering to this particular league. Now we have our gifted as a thank you for what? For donations? What is really going on here? Aside from our part being taken, honestly, it's all we hear is the soccer leagues. Well, you know what? Norwalk has been asking for softball fields for the girls for years. That's never happened. This is honestly Norwalk's this is a side, but Norwalk's has always been a softball in Norwalk community. How is it that all of a sudden these people come in and within a span of a couple years get gifted a park and a school? We will not give up. We will continue to meet with Ozzy. We will continue to fight. We will vote you people out. And if not, we will term you out. We will file with her, and we will start gaining the signatures that we need, and we will set term limits, because you stop working for the people of Norwalk and you start working for yourselves. And it's clear that that's what's happening here. Not all of you, I'm not sure all of you, but one for certain.
Our next speaker is Caitlin C., followed by Rafael Molina.
Can you hear me okay?
There you go.
Okay, perfect.
Just for note, make sure everybody stands right in front of the microphone so we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. I am normally a little bit loud too, so I try not to be too loud. My name is Caitlin, and first and foremost, I am a resident, but second, I am a mother. And I have an 11-year-old little boy, and he loves to play soccer, so I'm a big fan. But I do understand how he has ADHD, so he likes soccer, he likes baseball, he likes handball, he likes running around in circles like a crazy person for no reason, which is great because that's what the playgrounds and parks are for, right? For parents like myself, who's a single mom who I can't afford to take him down to the beach. Gas prices over $5 a gallon, and I drive a 2006 Honda Pilot, and not as good on gas mileage as you would think. I really rely on these parks to be able to take him to enjoy living in California. You know, I've lived here my entire life and everything has just skyrocketed and we are all suffering. And I just rely so much on the fact that I've been here my whole life. I know that as California residents, we really take care of each other. And I know there's so much going on with funding in so many places, all over the state, all over the country. I do not want to see my city become one of those. I don't want to see the city that I love so much putting money into places it doesn't need to be and not putting it where it needs to be, which is the future residents, which is the kids. It's the kids. You know, they're the ones who hype it up to people who don't live here and then they move here because they're like, oh, I saw somebody at summer camp who loved Norwalk and I decided to move there. You know, you want them to have multiple options here. And this city is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. The residents are beautiful, everything. And the fact that you have residents coming to you and asking you, please, please hear us as people, as parents, as humans who just are advocating for our kids to have an opportunity to make those really cool memories. You know, summertime at the park until 8 or 9 o'clock, you know, when it wasn't as great. But just being able to make those memories because we're so blessed with such beautiful weather. But if you put that black turf stuff down, we are just gonna die. I am already sweating so much right now. It's like 80-something degrees. Thank you for keeping it. But I just want our kids to be able to run around and feel that grass between their toes and feel the breeze from the tree that's collecting the oxygen. I just want that for them. I don't want them walking around in this weird concrete California because that's not what we are. We have every type of environment in California and it is phenomenal and we are so blessed and I just want my city to stay with that. So please, please hear us out on this park. Thank you so much.
Rafael Molina, and following that, Anthony Tabares.
So thank you to everyone. Thank you to the previous speakers and the organizers that got us out here to advocate for Hermosillo Park and to keep it a community park. I grew up there, stayed there as a little kid. I have a 4 and a 5-year-old. Right now I don't have anywhere to take them, to be honest with you. Oh, the park's under construction. Can we go to the school? No, sorry, you can't go to the school. Oh, but there's other kids playing at the school and they don't understand why there's other kids playing there, but they can't play there. There's no park to take them to. And when I heard about it, I thought, oh, that's great. They're going to renovate the park and we're going to have, you know, a better space than what we had and a whole walking compound to go walk around the park. There's no exercise stations, walking. You know, you're just going to walk in a circle like it's a track, but you could have exercise. You could have a greenery area there. Then the proposed playground that's there, which is, in my opinion, the main reason for the park, it's just an afterthought. It's like just to check the box that there's a playground there, but it's not really something that they can really enjoy like they were able to with the splash pad, with the different parks, and with the greenery that's there too. It's so important to have that greenery there. You were talking about the trees, replant all that, and there's 9,000 spaces for planted. There's a whole lot of space in that park to have really good trees. It would just really stand out that it's difficult for us to come out here and be here at this late at night when we all have jobs and we have to be up early. We have all these other commitments. And I'm inviting my neighbors to come out here. They're saying, I wish I could go out there, but I have other commitments. So I know from my behalf, I'm speaking for a lot of households that weren't able to come out, weren't able to be here, have that luxury. Please reconsider. Listen to the other speakers that have spoken so passionately. They know way more about it than I do, but I already know that this isn't what I want. And I live there. This isn't what I want. Something that the neighborhood can use and, you know, grow up there in the afternoon and not be excluded from this because some soccer club is coming somewhere else.
Anthony Tabares, and the next speaker following him, I believe, is Lorraine, maybe Ramirez. We'll check. I'll try to clarify this.
Great, I got 3 minutes, but the representatives have 20, 25. See, I'm a representative for the community. See, I give out of my time and my money. I don't have to sit up there and wait for a paycheck or to try to fight the union so I could get finances to go feed my family. See, I go hustle that. See, the community means a lot to me. It goes back in the 60s and the 70s when my family would be redlining to try to buy property when it was mostly Caucasian. We would fight with city members, Cecil Green. You guys know all them. Same old, same old. See, we're out here coming together for an agreement. It might not mean nothing to you, that little park, but to us, it means a whole heart. See, when you're part of the community, you give out of your heart. It's funny how you guys speak about programs this, programs that, this and that, that and this. Yet you guys been up there for over 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And this is the first time I hear this speaking. I never seen a council member go out there and go knock at my door. Hey, this is a new program for the juvenile delinquents. This is this, this is that. Never. I've always hear the negative side. Back in our days, it was Norwalk on the move. What kind of move are we in right now? Most of the members up there are raza. Yes, we have our setbacks. We fought with the sheriffs. They got their bones and their skeletons in their closets. We know that. But can we come together as a group, as a city of Norwalk? And for the record, the walk, we invented that, our generation. That's related to our gang. Yeah. It was brought up through the juvenile house system. Where you from? We're from the walk. So next time you want to take pride in that, make sure you know where that name came from. We got to take pride on the new generation that's coming up. Understand that the new kids that are coming up, they're going to look up to us. 30, 40 years from now, they're going to say, what did the city council, what did the city leaders did for our community? You got to understand what it really means to be part of Norwalk. And for the record, what young lady Patty said, yes, it is true. What happened through the social media. But am I scared of the threats? I'm not. It's okay. People make mistakes. But don't keep on making the same mistakes. Be like me. Grow. Don't go back to prison. Develop a business. 501c3s, LLCs. Explain that to us so we could all grow together. And that is our park.
I hope I'm reading this correctly. Lorraine, thank you. Following her will be Martha Lopez.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity for you guys. This is my first council meeting. I went to one of the community meetings I met the representative there. Again, I'm new, and I was thankful that they were hearing us and we were hearing them, and it sounded like we were coming in agreement, very close to Hermosillo Park. I was in Norwalk, 5 years old, so I live very close to Hermosillo. I participated there. I walked my dogs there. We got to see the beautiful trees there, the pines that come down that we didn't even see. Go to Oregon, see all the pine cones down there. It was just a wonderful park for the elderly, the children, people to just go have some fresh, enjoy the park. And it was attended, the maintenance. Maintenance here in Norwalk is exceptional. Well, now that this is all under construction, renovation, got new plans, and I'm hearing these, they should all be our plans, because not only do we have children and grandchildren, you don't want to find yourself in a place where you don't want your kids to get apart. You want to have your elderly walk around, sit by a tree. And now that this renovation is done, the maintenance is no longer going over to no trash cans. I'm saying it's Arturo Sanchez. No trash cans, no doggy bags. Not fair to the kids that come out of the elderly. Not fair to the people that walk around the park. No maintenance, trash. There's dog. They do their, and we don't want to. That looks bad on Norwalk. That looks bad in our community. That's not good for our elderly. That's not good for the kids. School buses. I've already addressed it to some of these gentlemen. I think it's a very great concern that we need to get some trash cans. You know, while this is going to be on for how long, and however we come in agreement, we should come in agreement, because this is Norwalk, our community. You guys serve a great community. You make it great. We want to make it great. We also want to have it attended to who lives here, the elderly, the children, and the growing community. That's what I want. I still have time. So I pray about this. I pray for you. I pray that you go home and think about what's being out here, what we talked about, and as well as what I heard.
Thank you. All right, Martha Lopez, and following Martha Benita Lucero.
Good evening. My name is Marta Lopez. My family has lived in the Hermosillo Park community for over 30 years. I'm a graduate of John Glenn High School. I taught in the Norwalk La Mirada School District for several years. I want to begin by addressing the way today's meeting was handled. I find it concerning and reflective of a lack of consideration for all of us here present, that we were left until the very end. You've known that many community members would be here today to speak on this very issue, and yet today's agenda was overly ambitious and packed. I understand you guys have issues to deal with, but I also understand that changes could be made to reflect your consideration and your care for what is pressing the community here today and now. Why wasn't this matter prioritized? Why wasn't a special meeting called? At the last meeting, I remember, Ms. Rios, that you called for information regarding turf fields versus grass fields, and none of that came up today. Was that forgotten? We haven't forgotten. We've been addressing this very issue for quite a while now. Not being proactive with today's agenda to prioritize an issue that is very concerning to us speaks volumes to us here today. I'm here to respectfully speak against the callous oversight and mishandling of this park's renovation. What we are asking for is fairness, transparency, and a park design that genuinely reflects the needs of our community, especially the needs of a diverse working family and a unit that depends on a park for just daily visits, a park that really reflects a neighborhood that wants a park to go to, grass, splash pad, barbecue, picnic areas, a place to gather and pray, meet up with friends. not a soccer revenue park or a soccer revenue field or a hall that can be rented out on the weekends and leaves the residents to deal with the mess and the afterthought. I was part of a core group of Norwalk residents who met with city officials over multiple meetings on our own time, at our own expense, and in good faith. However, it became clear that the outcome had already been decided: two turf soccer fields with the removal of key community amenities to our park. So to date, the city has failed to provide adequate records demonstrating fair and appropriate representation of verified community members at those interest meetings going back years. Hermosillo Park is a small neighborhood park. It serves a working class. We're not opposed to soccer fields, but we do ask for input in the design. As it stands, this proposal removes pivotal spaces such as barbecue spaces, meeting areas, handball courts, basketball courts, and all of that is just uncertain. Through my research and other park renovations, other parks, including those under the same construction company, have not lost amenities. They've gained amenities. They've enhanced their amenities. We're the only park that is losing amenities. And in theory, we're actually losing an entire park, and we're gaining just...
Thank you. Benito Lucero, and following is Martin N.
I didn't finish, so I'm going to take Benita with her consent. I think I left off saying that the park serves a working class family. As it stands, it removes pivotal areas, the picnic, barbecue spaces, leaves the basketball and handball courts in an uncertain state. We keep getting told that that's going to be part of phase 2. So phase 1 is just turf fields. That's what we're getting. We're losing a park. In return, we're being given what appears to function more like a for-profit soccer center and event facility. And this is important too. My family's home borders Sanchez Elementary. And for years, I've observed that there's always soccer practices going on there. And on the weekends, it's always packed there, and parking is always chaotic because there's always tournaments and league play and all of that going on. So I find it concerning that when funding became available for a neighborhood park, the selected concept was heavily centered around soccer. Just feet away from Hermosillo Park, Sanchez Elementary has been consistently rented out as a soccer tournament practice center for years. And now, Hermosillo Park is being turned into a soccer center. Now, I've already mentioned that the city has failed to provide proof that actual residents from the direct Hermosillo Park community were involved in the design process. But equally concerning is what our resident Patty brought up to today's meeting. And that's the fact that Ms. Rios, your husband is in fact a member of the board for the Norwalk Glamarata School District. And the area that he is entrusted with is Area 3. And public information on Norwalk Glamarata Unified's website lists Sanchez Elementary as part of his designated area. So I find that really suspicious, deeply concerning, and worthy of investigation. From an outsider's perspective, I would even raise the concern that there is a serious conflict of issue going on here. Thank you.
The next speaker is Martin N. Martin N. No longer here. We'll go to our last speaker is Paki.
At this picture. California before Columbus. 65% California, 35% by the ocean in Mexico before Columbus. That's ours. I remember I told you I'm supposed to be the chief. California is here for me. I did not come here for that. Look at that European, Asian country. Asian country. Rule this. I did not come here for that. We are the owner of the resurrection. Nobody in the Middle East owns the resurrection. We hold the key. God bring a European to Easter Island, right? He stopped them outside. Killed the 6 of them. That's when Jesus was born. Grave was open. Righteous people come out. In the Easter Island, the people are trying to come out from the grave. Some people like that, some people like that, some people like that, some people like that, right? And some tomb is open, they're not walking out, right? When you look at those statues, first 3 is Peter, James, and John. The second president, the 12th quorum, these 2 councils. Why do they stand on top of that platform? Standing in the air and call the resurrection, come, come, come. Call them to come up. They have the key mark on their back. We have the key. We have it. Only one who has it. Don't know. I want to tell you, I'm here with everybody. Look, everywhere. What do you think? I was right, I am the chief. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, our meeting is adjourned.